Elon Musk and 50 Cent just dropped a truth bomb that's got the entire industry on edge. But here's the real twist. Diddy isn't the boss. He's the distraction. If you've been staring at him like he's the final villain, you've been reading the wrong map. Because this time, it's not just noise. Elon holds something 50 never had. Data, receipts, years of private DMs from the Twitter era, now X, the kind of digital paper trail that can flip an entire narrative overnight. And that's why people are starting to break this down like a pyramid. At the bottom, Jay-Z and Beyoncé. In the middle, the gatekeepers, Oprah, Clive Davis. And at the very top, one name they claim connects it all, hiding in plain sight. But it doesn't stop at studios or boardrooms. This conversation goes deeper into influence, image, and even the pulpit. 50's been hinting at that angle for months, so buckle up, because once this thread gets pulled, nothing stays hidden.
They gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, up them, Dave, why don't you just do Chappelle's show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation? Because the master over there might be nicer. My God, man, I was trapped. You know what? Tell you the truth. I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show. Well, but if I do...
Before we climb any higher, you need to understand this. The Diddy situation matters far beyond hip-hop. And no, this isn't a long biography. This is exactly what you clicked for. When 50 Cent dropped his Diddy documentary, The Reckoning, he framed it in a way nobody else in the industry dared to. His message was simple. Silence makes the entire culture look complicit. So instead of ducking it, he stepped straight into the fire. But this is where things turn dark. One of the biggest claims circulating is that Diddy allegedly had hundreds of hidden cameras inside his home, recording what went down at those after-hours parties. Commentators like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal don't talk about it like it was entertainment. They frame it as leverage, insurance, a silent control system that keeps people obedient without a single threat ever being spoken. And now the rumor is that those tapes are being quietly moved while major names behind the scenes are panicking. So why does Elon Musk change the entire equation? Because Elon owns X, and that puts him at the top of a platform holding years of private conversations, DMs between celebrities, politicians, and power players who present one image publicly and another privately. When Elon sat down with Joe Rogan, he didn't just tease the idea, he called out the massive gap between what people say out loud and what they stay silent about when it actually mattered.
Diddy thing was like an Epstein-type compromise deal, where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know. But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that people in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was like abusing, kids basically. And yet they still fed him kids. And like, where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors. There had to be.
They had to know.
Yeah.
They had to know.
Cat Williams is talking about it on.
Exactly.
Yeah, on that podcast.
But like who's feeding him the kids?
Right. Yeah. And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
Yeah.
The whole thing is fucking crazy.
Crazy.
It's just crazy when because the nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood, and you're like, come on, that sounds too kooky. And then you see like the Nickelodeon thing and all these different. You're like,
He brought up Jennifer Lopez, not as a political debate, but as a credibility test. If you were that close back then, where was the warning? Where was the alarm? And his implication was chilling. Nowhere. That moment set the internet on fire because it forces one ugly question. If someone was that close and never spoke up, what does that actually mean? Either they didn't know, which a lot of people struggle to accept, or they did know and stayed silent. And if they stayed silent, the next question is obvious. Why? Fear, loyalty, image, or protection? And if protection, protection of who? Now let's climb. Level 1 is Jay-Z and Beyoncé. And yeah, you're probably thinking, that's it? Just level 1? Hold up, you haven't seen the top yet.
Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly. This is insane that people keep refusing. I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common professionally and privately. Sean Carter, this has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through. That changes now, Sean. You have no choice. That Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly.
Jaguar Wright sat down with Piers Morgan and said the things people swear you're not supposed to say out loud. She named names, Jay-Z, Diddy, and talked about how deep the connections really go. Almost immediately, people online started claiming the episode was pulled fast, scrubbed, buried, and made hard to find. Whether that's true or not, the perception alone added gasoline to an already burning conversation. She also raised a question that's been floating around for years. How does Jay-Z sit across from Gayle King on CBS and never get pressed on certain long-running rumors or industry ties? In Jaguar's words, the interviews feel safe, too safe. She used heavy language, calling Jay-Z and Diddy monsters, describing their influence as something that's been crushing the industry for decades. Then came the Aaliyah theory, the one that refuses to die. Jaguar went further than most, alleging Jay-Z had a role in getting Aaliyah on that plane, framing it as personal and tied to who benefited afterward. To be clear, none of this has been proven. These are allegations and theories, not facts. But they keep resurfacing for one reason. Jay-Z has never directly addressed them head-on. And in the internet age, silence doesn't read as neutral. It reads like a choice.
Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane, to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter. Yeah. Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened, and yet they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
Then something else dropped that made everyone raise an eyebrow. As Diddy faced charges and lawsuits began piling up, one name immediately caught attention: Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's personal attorney. Rumors say he started showing up around Diddy's legal circle. And the question on everyone's mind? Why is Jay-Z's lawyer suddenly involved in this mess?
Tony Busby, Spiro is a partner, and Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's personal lawyer.
Oh, so it's probably Jay-Z then that's doing the suing.
Of course they've used Kevin's name, but it ain't Kevin. Why is Alex Spiro popping up everywhere?
What do you think is going on in Hollywood right now? What are you hearing? Because I'm hearing
mass panic. Mass panic.
So because no one's talking publicly.
No, they can't. That's why they came up with the story. Well, you know, there's a party inside the Diddy party, and I went to the first party, but I left early. I never made it to Diddy After Dark. There were public relations teams right after Diddy got arrested running around telling everyone to say that.
Of course.
The question is this: if all you went to was the first party and you didn't know anything about the After Dark, why would you say I left early Why wouldn't you just say you left when the party ended?
Exactly.
Because how would you know there was another party
Exactly.
if you weren't informed?
Exactly.
If you went to the Diddy party and nothing happened and it was the first party, your speech wouldn't be, oh, well, I only went to the first party. I didn't go to the after party. You wouldn't say that because you wouldn't have known about
Exactly.
it. You would say, I don't know what anybody's talking about. I went to Diddy's party. It was a white party. It was dancing. It was wild. But at the end, we all went home.
Right.
That's not what y'all are saying.
Nope.
You're saying, I didn't go to the second party. I only went to the first. The only thing you're proving is that you're hiding being there
Yeah.
because you wouldn't have known about it.
The theory is simple. Listen to this. Control the story before more names get pulled into the light. Because if Diddy ever starts talking, a lot of heavy hitters could fall with him. That's why the chatter keeps circling Jay-Z's early rise. You can't mention that era without Big L. Big L supposedly helped open doors, connected Jay to Dame Dash, and negotiations were reportedly moving for Big L and his crew. Then, just days later, Big L was killed in a Harlem drive-by. The case remains unsolved, and Jaguar has suggested his death was the first in a string of mysterious events that conveniently cleared paths for certain players. Coincidence? Maybe. But when timelines start lining up, the pattern feels uncomfortable. Now we hit level 2, where it's less about fame and more about leverage. Oprah Winfrey and Clive Davis. With Oprah, critics focus on her closeness to Harvey Weinstein, photos, events, public support, while whispers were already swirling. That's where the debate sparks. Someone with that platform could have shown a light early, but she didn't. In this space, silence reads as protection. Then, there's the controversy around the South African school she funded. Early allegations, public fallout, people fired, statements made, but critics argue some pieces never fully add up. Resurfacing photos and rumors paint Oprah as quiet power, the kind that doesn't need viral moments, because one call can decide who gets booked, buried, or labeled difficult. Then there's Clive Davis, a legend, Arista Records, decades at the top, launching careers for giants. That's why people never treat him as background noise. Suge Knight has long claimed that Clive and Diddy weren't just mentor and protege, saying it was deeper than business. No proof, just a claim that keeps circulating because it fits the bigger story. Diddy didn't rise solo. And when reporters pressed Clive about Diddy, he reportedly looked uncomfortable and refused to answer. Not proof, but that clip keeps replaying online like a tell.
It's memory working with Diddy.
You know, personally, I've got to tell you, he really is a major star in this film tonight. He's his spokesman all the way through. I met him before I ever knew of him. I met him when he was 21 years old. And when we met, you know, he played me Craig Mack Flavor in Your Ear. He played me 3 cuts from the forthcoming Notorious B.I.G. album. And we talked for hours and hours about music, and I poured into his dream. And I financed Bad Boy Records. And we had an incredible run, an incredible period.